Hi, welcome to my world, where the energy of color explodes into my passion for healing the planet while employing a wide variety of diverse thematic content, all in an uplifting manner. This is Judith Schwab, no genetic relation to Charles Schwab, who I'd like to thank for sponsoring this amazing evening of art, and the team who with Charles Wiki made it all happen. The object of art that started this whole evening is in Charles Wiki's office on his wall. So I would like you all to check it out before you leave. And when people ask me to describe my work, it's very hard for me to do that because I'm always reinventing myself. And as you walk around, you can see very different kinds of pieces. In 2010, after the Gulf oil disaster, I decided to do an environmental piece, and I did a series of 13 waves. Women Colored for Work had three-dimensional pieces in it, and these are two of the three-dimensional pieces that were in it. There was a civil rights hat box too that I didn't bring today, but you can see it on my website. All you have to do is remember my name, judithschwab.com, and you can see everything on my website. I have 6 galleries on my website. Most of the work on there is in collections, but there's still a few that's available, as you can see. Every little cell in your body is healthy. Every little cell in your body is well. You feel so happy, you feel so good, 'cause every little cell in your body feels good. Oh, yes, it does. You radiate light. You radiate perfect health in every cell, in every tissue, in every issue.
Why did you need surgery?
Because I had some unhealthy cells in my body, and the surgery would make me well again. But I was very scared.
I didn't know grown-ups got scared.
Yes, Sally, even grown-ups get scared. But I put my nervousness into strumming my ukulele and humming. And when I had a strong melody, I put words to it that my cells were healthy.
When I get scared, I hide under a pillow.
Oh, that's sweet. Well, maybe the boys and girls out there would have an idea of what they do when they get scared. Maybe hug a teddy bear, tell a friend.
What do you do when you get scared, Judy?
When I get scared, I play my ukulele, and the nervousness goes right into the strumming, and it makes me feel so much better.
Oh, I think I get it now. When you think about things that make you feel happy and sing about them, well, your cells are healthier and you don't feel so scared anymore.
That's right, Sally. Now let me ask you something. Are there things out in nature that you like to see that make you happy when you see them?
Yes, I like flowers and birds and trees.
Well, that's why I put those things in my cell song. Shall we sing it together?
Oh, yes. I think the cells in my body would like me to sing them a happy cell song.
I think they would too. Da 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 da. Every little cell in your body is healthy. Every little cell in your body is well. You feel so happy, you feel so good, 'cause every little cell in your body feels good. Every little cell in your body is healthy. Every little cell in your body is well. You feel so happy, you feel so good, 'cause every little cell in your body feels good. Oh, yes, it does. You radiate light. You radiate perfect health in every cell, in every tissue, in every issue, in every bone, in every muscle, in every atom. You're attuned to this joyous perfection that we call the Almighty Spirit. And I'm singing it so your subconscious can hear it.
Multimedia-related arts environment from Delaware, with concept, installation, and media integration by Judith Schwab. Poem, Woodwoman, written by John Farnham. Interpretive reading by Linda Schwab. Music taken from Changes, available through the courtesy of Canyon Records by R. Carlos Nakai for Our Voices, Our Land. What do you scheme, hag woman, as you stare out from your rocky eyrie during this night? I hear your restless waiting in the indecisive winds which have chased each other throughout the camp this ebbing night. I only know that you are up there on your rocky precipice, watching an unseen timepiece's machinations revolve with the juggernaut's choreography. We, my tribe, Wait, old squaw. A cold, early morning wait, for your roll to be suddenly called, demanded. Will you allow the new sun to be chosen from one of the summer suns from your mystery pouch? Or will you keep its pale winter surrogate high in the noonday sky? Will you bring gentle rains or fierce warrior clouds to feed the rivers and wrinkle the land? Not yet dawn, and already the winds begin to swell. Old one, I hear your rousing. You act. Your claws slide out of their cat sheaths and prey momentarily on your craggy perch. Judicial and decisive, you become an actor in a larger drama. Suddenly, you fly off and down to this waiting world. A squall line boils up around you and envelops. Your shape is seen metamorphosing, hunchbacked and plotting in the bellies of pregnant storms. The storm line begins its mad cavalry charge across the land. The ground is pummeled with amphibious hooves. You shake the trees and air into an elemental dance of chaos. Winds thrash each other like incestuous demons. Thunder quickens and arterial lightning spills onto the ground. A lightning-embroidered rain skirt sweeps its gyroscopic hands over the street. An old oak is released as exploding timber masts of lightning coursing deep within its sap. Leaves flee and fall beneath the storm's standstill. Then, the storm's padded feet move off. Tired and recalled, squaw bitch, your talons return to their lairs. The perch is regained, and your waiting begins again. I hear the consoling voices of men comforting their women. To me, foreign notes. Mothers comforting their young, and the slowing of my heartbeats now that your storms have passed. My old body relaxes and breathes in the damp air that licks my bones with an old, familiar fire. Old squaw, hear my prayers. Soon the woodwright will begin. It's almost dawn. Do your gray, osprey eyes coldly remain fixed on faint shadows, moving about among the damp fires around the camp? Man camp. Do your eyes swim with the misty reflections of these early morning gatherers? Women. I pray, old squaw, that you watch over these women, these kindred of mine, in the woods. bent over in dutiful time, under the vast pines, underbrush, in the hush of the morning. She-spirit, spinner of dew-webs and black, pot-bellied clouds, old squaw, aid these women seeking firelight from the fallen wood death. Show them your treasures, neophytes discovering your hidden pathways, diligent providers in the morning haze. These sleepy wanderers move about awkwardly, wishing for their men's warmth back at the camp. See, squaw, how one, young and lithe, breaks a new path away from the others, her tawny hair flashing, her brown limbs breaking across dew-pregnant spiderwebs. See, old watching witch, her run to the river's bank and gather up her dream girl reflections. Soon, she will learn the wood right. Hear, old one, hear her heart's song. Hear this old one's heart. How this day comes, old squaw. I smile for the sunflower's great face as it animates with each day, growing seemingly closer, closer to its namesake. See these vines festooned lazily about the woods, like sun-drunk snakes. These trees, so tall around me, so many shapes, so many sculpturing. How these charms of yours draw me, how they define me. Old stars and unused moons must have been swaddled in your belly pouch, so full of mystery. I have never before left the others when we gathered wood, yet today I feel as if I have always followed separate trails. Did you guide me here with your bony claw hand to witness your handicraft? The others collect wood for their fires. Do you know the heat of my fire, old one? My fire is different. It consumes, leaving my belly empty and my bones hollow to the coursing of your winds. I hear the memory of many years. I see your hag bags, pregnant with forgotten faces. Old squaw, your winds breathe and move about me as you busy yourself in sweeping away the heaven's starry dust. Wood Mother, oldest of all sky chiefs and earth squaws. Do you hear my prayers? I too remember that young girl who sang her own wood chant to you many, many moons ago.
Imagine there is a waterfall pouring over white porous rocks of all different shapes and sizes. We are in a small protected garden, a place of exquisite private simplicity and beauty. You see the water as liquid light, gently changing direction as it flows over lacy lava rocks. You see the water as liquid light, gently changing direction as it flows over lacy lava rocks. Mesmerized as you watch, You begin to feel that you are an integral part of this garden. You inhale and exhale as the cleansing impact of spray touches you. You inhale and exhale as the cleansing impact of the spray touches you. This cascading stream is washing away all frustration, washing away disappointment, washing away fear, disease, and dis-ease. You see the foaming bubbles created by the water's flow, popping softly, transforming slowly into the moist, fertile atmosphere. Positive ideas begin to flow through your consciousness, that life's greatest good and perfection are now working for you, that you are fine exactly the way you are, that you are an open passage for good to flow in and through you. Positive ideas begin to flow through your consciousness, that life's greatest good and perfection are now working for you, that you are fine exactly the way you are. You are an open passage for good to flow in and through you. You feel well on every level, from each atom, cell, tissue, vessel in your wholesome body. As the clear, clean surges of water passes, it rejuvenates, removing anything and everything unwanted. As the clear, clean surges of water passes, it rejuvenates, removing anything and everything unwanted. All energy is focused on inhaling all that refreshes and exhaling what we no longer need. Your soothing surroundings take full focus. You recognize a harmony of design in nature. You see the way the pattern of the roll of a mountain's range resembles the rippling pattern of an ocean's waves. You feel one with the rocks and with everything that you see in this blossoming oasis. You sense how intensely you love life and appreciate your surroundings. You are in tune with the beauty everywhere. You recognize a harmony of design in nature. You see the way the pattern of the roll of a mountain's range resembles the rippling pattern of an ocean's waves. You feel one with the rocks and with everything that you see in this blossoming oasis. You sense how intensely you love life and appreciate your surroundings. You are in tune with the beauty everywhere. With energy. It is with ease that you handle all of your commitments, because you are in perfect health, accepting yourself exactly the way you are. Smile as you notice a dewdrop on a blade of grass nearest you. Your vision is now sharpened to enrich your perception of everything and everyone. Breathe the breath of life. We are aware that we are breathing in. We are aware that we are breathing out. Exhaling slowly, deliberately, inflating your lungs as a balloon expands with each inhalation. With each breath, we turn our attention to our surroundings. It is with ease that you handle all of your commitments, because you are in perfect health, accepting yourself exactly the way you are. Smile as you notice a dewdrop on a blade of grass nearest you. Your vision is now sharpened to enrich your perception of everything and everyone. Breathe the breath of life. We are aware that we are breathing in. We are aware that we are breathing out. Exhaling slowly, deliberately, inflating your lungs as a balloon expands with each inhalation. With each breath, we turn our attention to our surroundings. Smile as you make the most of each second of every day, because time is a gift. Nurture each minute you are with someone important enough to spend your time. And remember the 17th century gift from the father of philosophy to the multitudes of sages and healers who came after him when he discovered the power of the mind, stating, "I think, therefore I am." We thank you, René Descartes. The endorphins released into the body when we picture the positive strengthens the immune system, optimizing your natural ability to heal. Have a good day. Have a good night. And enjoy the body as a wellspring of optimism.
I really like these three and the idea of the collar, and to thinking, I like the fact that the women had many different roles in this picture, and then they also were working in this picture, and then all of a sudden they went back to the house, back to the home, and became homemakers. And I like the way Judy showed that through the collars. I think that's very interesting. And the fact with the cigarettes and making women very small. First they were actually running the country or the workforce, and then all of a sudden now they belong in the house.
Okay, thank you. And was there something else you commented on, Sue, that you really enjoyed here?
I really like this one, how Judy credited the people that came over from the Holocaust, and she's showing their experience through this picture, the waves that they had to endure, and the suitcase, and the ship that coming over, and this is also one of her friends that was a nurse. This is the collar that she wore and what they contributed. I also like the small effect from bomb collar that's in the suitcase that her mother had made.
Yeah, that is beautiful.
I never knew, in my generation, I never knew anything from collars.
Mm.
So I found this very interesting because collars was never a part of my life.
Or you didn't think about it. I mean, you've got a collar in your blouse now.
Right, but they were not of any significance, and Judy has shown me the significance of the collars during the different decades.
We're now approaching Women Collared for Work, Judith Schwab's exhibit, and we're going to have some comments on it in the Coral Springs Art Museum. Where's Roy?
This is my civil rights piece dedicated to Elizabeth Eckford, who is brave innocence. She must have had a force field of peace around her as she tried to enter Central High School in Little Rock, Arkansas, with a white crowd of jeering people hollering, "Lynch her." She was not harmed, and even though she was turned away by the guard. In the front of this piece, you'll see Elizabeth Eckford.
Okay, I'm going to Liz comment on this.
I would like the pieces to inspire young people to go out and research these time periods and learn more about the history of the 20th century and women's struggle through it. And I would like to inspire people to be more creative in their young artists to be more creative in their approach to whatever they create. So to be interested in the history, to see that history can be absorbed from a visual image that's both beautiful and yet abstract and
did you live through this time?
yes.
This
This is, well, the time period that I chose is a time period that I lived through that was very important to me. In 1942, I was 7 years old.
Okay.
And
the war had just started. It had been
Yes.
going on for about a year.
And my father was in the service. He was in the Navy. And my mother was an air raid warden. And I was very involved in reading about the war and learning about the war and sending parcels to Europe of clothing to help children. And it hadn't been that long. I'm a second-generation American. All four of my grandparents were born outside of the United States. So the World War impacted my ancestry as well. And my grandfather on my mother's side brought people over, relatives, when things got bad in Europe. He tried to save people and he brought them over. But some of them were religious and they couldn't abide by working on Saturday and Sunday, Friday and Saturday, because in the winter the Sabbath begins like 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and in those years everybody worked till 6. There wasn't, or 7. There were, before Francis Perkins, there were no hours. There was nobody knew about the 40-hour week. That was unheard of. So it wasn't that long ago that there were no labor laws or labor practices. And these people that my grandfather brought over went back to Europe to a life that they felt that they could live, and they died in the Holocaust. So I had a personal kind of feeling, and I wanted to do a piece in honor of Holocaust survivors who came to America and contributed much to our culture.
Is there a particular piece of yours in the show that you would like to talk about?
Well, this piece right here, the suitcase, there are two pieces actually. This piece, the hat box piece, has my face on it. Actually, I was involved in an art exchange, an art lift with Bernice Davidson, who did the vine pieces. And this mask was made of my face with plaster bandages, but another one was made of my face with plaster bandages, and it went to an art fair in Tbilisi, Georgia. And I never knew what to do with my face. I was supposed to paint it all different bright colors, but I never did until this show came up. And this is a fashion illustration that I did in the 1950s when I was working for an advertising agency, and the different shops that he worked for would give me clothing. I'd go home and put it on and see how it felt, and then I did the fashion illustration, which I gave him, and then he did the mock-up with the layout. And so this side of the hat box is about fashion illustrators and the impact that they have in American culture. I used my face for it, and I juxtaposed it with the other side of the hat box, where you see a Peter Pan collar. And there were mixed messages to young girls in those days. We were supposed to be innocent until marriage, and yet it was the sex goddess that everybody that was in love with. So to avoid copyright infringement problems, I did a drawing of Marilyn Monroe on acrylic gel, and I placed it next to the image of the schoolgirl, which is my friend Sheila Finkelstein, who's also an artist. And so all my friends shared their family pictures with me, pictures that were not copyrighted, for me to use in this exhibition. Also, my roommate in college, at Moore College of Art, Marcia Crestel, died in like 40, 50 years ago. She died very young, and I took one of her illustrations from her sketchbook, and I copied it onto acrylic gel for this court jester, and so that's incorporated into the piece. And I have in a scrapbook, I found this card that was from an April Showers dance that I went to in high school, where we had raised enough money to have Patty Page. And I used this picture of myself with in the gown, juxtaposed that next to it. And I was 15 years old when that picture was taken. So this piece has great personal relationship to my experience in my life.
For someone who didn't experience the collared time, what is a Peter Pan collar? I assume it's what we're looking at there, but what is the significance?
Well, the Peter Pan collar was worn. Collars were made in the 50s that could be put on a sweater set. All kinds of beautiful decorative collars that were beaded, that were sequins, that were lace, and then you would tie it with a bow. And so the collar was very important in the 50s, and they were usually Peter Pan collars that were loose. In this hat box here, this is a kind of Peter Pan collar as well, this beaded collar. If it was together, you would see that it would look kind of like a Peter Pan collar. This collar was actually made by my mother, and I saved it all these years, not knowing why, but it found its place as the image of the woman behind the working collar. So this is the nurse's white utility working collar, and this is the sparkling nighttime entertainment collar that, because behind every woman's work there's women's play too. This is dedicated to many of my Holocaust survivor friends. I used Dorothy Finger's face 5 different times. She has made a lifetime effort to get into schools, and she's still going to schools, telling about the Holocaust that she lived through and trying to impress children that they should try and see the other side of people that seem different than they are, because to hate somebody just because they're different is not acceptable. And she has made an impact. And there are 2 families shown here. This is a family from Germany, and these 2 women who were babies, they shared their family pictures with me. And this is Dorothy Finger when she was maybe 5 or 6. And this was Dorothy Finger in 1940, I can't see the 1943, I don't know. I guess it could be 1943. She got her first working papers in Poland then, and her father had just been taken away from the family. This was the Ernie Pyle, and Ruth actually had a picture of that ship, and so I was able to use it in a photo transfer manner on fiberglass. Siegel, she's a portrait painter who honored the creative women that were adults in 1960, young adults, and the creativity of that time period is evident in these works. These are the women that she has honored are still contributing tremendous amounts to their communities today. And when she heard about the collared theme, she went to the Salvation Army and picked out clothing that she thought they might have worn in the 60s. And the symbol of the flower is the symbol of the flower children. Anne Stein is honoring Frances Perkins, who, as a school teacher, when her students were truant, she didn't just mark them absent, she went to their homes and found out that they were working to earn a living to put food on the table for their families. And when she realized there were no child labor laws, she made up her mind to change that, and she did. Deborah Stelling honors two artists. Deborah's shadow box pieces have amazing quotations from Georgia O'Keeffe. I feel there is something unexplored about a woman that only a woman can explore. And there's also sayings from Eleanor Roosevelt: learn from the mistakes of others. You can't possibly, you can't live long enough to make them all yourself. Rosemary Lane, at my request, combined all the different elements of work that she does. She was the head of printmaking at the University of Delaware, the first woman to ever be given the honor of being a full professor at the University of Delaware. And she honored 4 very famous artists. Louise Nevelson, who's the queen of sculpture. Miriam Shapiro, who made fans acceptable art forms. And Judith Schwab, who brought nature into her works. And this is her muse. These are all her muses, but this says Muse Helen Frankenthaler, who got on her hands and knees and scrubbed canvas with rags and using dyes that you would dye clothing with. And she made these beautiful images of nature using clothing dyes on her hands and feet as if she was scrubbing a floor. Maria Keene honors 3 wonderful artists who, actually more than 3. The artist who came through the Howard Pyle School of Illustration. These are famous artists that supported themselves through their professional art careers. We have the work of Bernice Davidson, who creates figures in a basket weaving technique using vines. And of course my work, which is 3-dimensional and 2-dimensional. I have 2 hat boxes outside in the lobby, and this piece is called Rivets, and it honors the Rosie the Riveter type women who took the place of men during World War II. This honors the home front, the women who were using ration stamps and standing in long ration lines and keeping the home going during World War II. And this piece is after the war, when the women who were working so hard in the factories and on the war front were expected to take a back seat and go back into low-paying jobs or no-paying jobs. And so they started wearing bib collars. And who wears a bib anyway? So what does that tell us about that time period? Did you get it all?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Margot Ullman is honoring the Japanese American women who were interned during World War II in California, who continued to make art and continued to keep their courage up. This is before, while they were interned in California. And this is after the war, where they could start to see more clearly. Uh-oh, where's my coat? This is your coat.
Well, Judy, thank you very
Oh.
much. This was really a good time. And
Okay, well, thank you, John.
yeah.
Thank you so much.
good luck. It's a great show. I'm looking forward to it opening tomorrow night.